Welcome to join me on my bicycle tour through Sweden in the summer of 2018. I started in Trelleborg, went over Ystad and Simrishamn to Karlshamn, to Karlskrona and on to Christianopel, then up to Kalmar and then up to Oskarshamn. A ferry took me to Öland. This is an island. You go further to the northern island of Föra and down via Slite, Ljugarn, Östergarn to Burgsvik, around the south end and then up to Visby again. The ferry took me back to Oskarshamn and then to Byxelkrok on the island of Öland. I went down in zigzag to Borgholm and then to the southern end via Ottenby and back up to Färjestaden with a ferry to Kalmar and then with a train to Växjö and then via Föra and Lund and Malmö to Trelleborg. Part 3, Öland. First I took the ferry 3.5 hours from Visby to Oskarshamn. Then I had to wait 4 hours and then I went right on to Öland, northern end to Byxelkrok. The ferry to Öland was of course much smaller. I estimate around 20 cars. For the second time of the stay I passed the Blue Jungfrun. What a wonderful day, warm and sunny weather. Here you see Byxelkrok. I went right along on to the northern end of Öland, which is the Long Erik, and then down to Böda Sand. Here this is the lighthouse of Long Erik, with a wonderful view. Here you see the view towards the eastern side. In this direction is Öland, the rest of it. Now here you see where I came, the bridge, and in the distance it's Byxelkrok. Living in the mountains, it's something special to drive along the sea. On that hot day, I also enjoyed very much this road in the shadow forest. The Bay of Grankulla. And I never expected some elks over here in Öland. The beach of Böda sand camping. And of course my tent was the smallest of all, as usually. Day number 15 brought me in zigzag down the upper third of Öland, along the coast or also inlands, to Borgholm and to Köpingsvik. First of many windmills on that day. First also beautiful small roads towards the sea. And then for the next 15 kilometers a material breaking gravel road with a lot of holes and sand and big stones. But the view was so outstanding, wonderful. And also some other types of windmills. A small airport in Sweden, and more windmills. The church of Alböke. And a small house with a private windmill. And then finally the ruins of the castle of Borgholm. I arrived there at the bottom of this hill and I wanted to go up, but there were steep stairs the last 50 meters, so I needed a way around for 2 kilometers. It is fun to explore this tall castle with staircases, cellars, towers, walls and hidden places. It's also fun to look for angles to take pictures. This was a bastion in earlier times and then a Renaissance castle. A few kilometers further was Clinta camping, and of course I went to the beach and took a bath. On that day I had a strong tailwind, so I could easily go down to the southernmost point of Öland, to the Lange Lighthouse, and then a few kilometers back against strong headwinds to Ottenby. My cheese for breakfast, and here I can let my tent dry for the condensed water of the night. Öland is known as the island of the windmills. Therefore you find really a lot of them wherever you go. Here the windmills of Lerkaka and a runestone just opposite. No day without kanelbulle and coffee, the so-called fika. This is the wasteland of Stora Alvaret. This is only sufficient for sheep. The small church of Segerstad. And a few kilometers behind I took a left turn down to Gräsgardshamn, where some fish invited me down to the harbor for fish and chips. Here I'm already approaching the Lange Lighthouse. This is the southernmost point of whole Öland. I went up, of course, and had a lot of strong winds around me. After 7 kilometers against really strong headwinds, I arrived at one of the best camping lots in Ottenby. This day costed me a lot of power. With the exception of 4 kilometers, I was a whole day paddling against strong headwinds via Degerhamn, Mörbylanga up to Färjestaden. Between Biketour and Mörbylanga there is a slope, and those few kilometers were the only one on the whole day going easy. But also on that hot day, the shadow was welcome. Nice cycle path and small roads led me to Färjestaden. And here I'm in the harbor of Färjestaden, and I know, and this was it for the most of my tour. This is the Kalmar Bridge, this is the camping lots beach, and the camping lots windmill. and again my tent was the smallest as usual. Day 18 was a quite relaxed day. I cycled to the ferry, took the ferry to Kalmar, because pedestrians and cyclists are not allowed on the Kalmar Bridge. The ferry trip takes roughly half an hour between Öland and Kalmar downtown. And then I took a train of the Östersunds target company via Växjö, Lund and Malmö to Trelleborg. Swedish trains of the company SJ don't take cyclists with them. So I was lucky needing this connection. And during my train ride I saw a lot of trees in combinations with lakes or cornfields or villages. Three hours later, the cornfields became larger and the trees less. So I arrived in Trelleborg Central Station. I built up my tent the last time and watched some ships coming into the harbor in the evening. Here you see the sunset. Day 19 was only for sightseeing in Trelleborg. Here's the sea bridge of Trelleborg, and take a look at those delicious sweets of a bakery. And here's some impressions from the city of Trelleborg. The Pilgrim's Church of St. Nikolai, with a comfortable and warm inside. Trelleborg means castle made out of piles, so they found some ruins and made a reconstruction on it. This is part of a museum and also a lot of things for kids to play with. In the city center you find a water tower, and directly beside it is the local museum of Trelleborg. On display is the history of the last 9,000 years, from current life over political things back to a grave even from the Bronze Age. After sightseeing, I went to the sea and took a bath and enjoyed the sunset. Day number 20, the last day. I took the ship from Trelleborg in Sweden down to Travemünde in Germany. Cozy atmosphere in my tent. Here you saw my sleeping bags. On the side along my bags and backpack. Hardly any place left for me. Leaving Sweden now. What a great bicycle tour. What a great weather. What friendly people. What good food. All in all, a great vacation time. Goodbye Sweden and thank you. Here we are entering Travemünde harbor. Due to the great weather, it was a very busy day for all boats. Now only docking backwards, and then we were allowed to leave. We had to wait quite a bit because the upper ramp wouldn't work, so we had to go down the ramp within the big ferry. I've shortened it already a little bit so you don't need to wait so long. And if it appears very long to you, you may be right. This spring they have cut the ferry in 2 pieces and have prolonged it by 30 meters and then welded it together again. So here you see we are going down the ramp in the inner side of the ferry. On the right side, the ferry Peter Pan we just came with. Take a look at all those trucks. On the right side, they are coming from Sweden. On the left side, they want to go to Sweden. The last few hundred meters now of my bicycle tour. And then I arrived at my car, happy and healthy after a wonderful bicycle tour of 3 weeks and 1350 kilometers. Thanks for joining and have much fun if you go there yourself.